Hey, happy Friday, all. Look, what perfect time to do it. Installed a new version of OBS. So we're not sure we did it right. So can you guys hear and see me? Okay.
I can see you and I hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Okay. Well, again, happy Friday, everybody. Another good week here at CSE. Everything is going quite well. If you've been in our testing this week, it's been certainly an exciting week of testing as we pulled over the latest version of the game over to Wormling and have been beating on that. We're also beating on an even newer version that we have moved from Hatchery over to Wormling Prep. So, having said that, let's get to the top 10ish. Number one, no surprise, testing. Yeah, lots and lots of 100 on 100 on 100 battles. Overall, fantastic. A few new bugs that, certainly, like always, are unexpected. There's a good word, unexpected. We are still hoping to have a weekend test, even though we haven't announced it until now. We're still hoping to have a weekend test, but, big but, we will not know for at least another hour. Right now, it's probably a little less than 50-50, but we'll see what happens. The good news, though, testing has been going just wonderfully. For those who haven't been in, the main server has been rock solid stable. Client crashes are low. There have been some issues with the proxies with the mini servers that we're tracking down now. But, look, for an alpha engine, doing 100 by 100 by 100 for so many people, locked and capped at 60 FPS, not too shabby. And the version we have on prep will actually get an increase in FPS, which is great, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So number two, another tech item, building networking improvements. So Andrew spent a reasonable amount of time this week working on getting our building code in shape for its big debut during Beta 1. So that means, getting it set up so we can have lots of buildings having destruction going on at any one time. Same with stability and physics and all that good stuff. So Andrew's working on that. Number three, another tech item, bone attachments in VFX. What does this mean? It means that Rob has spent some time making it easier for Cross to add VFX to different parts of people's bodies. So that's a work in progress. Another one, UI design and inventory containers. So this is something that AJ and JB have been working on so that we could have chests and guild vaults and bags. So that's moving along nicely. Another work in progress, bugs, apparently. That's how Matt referred to his work. And it's everything from fixing multiple bugs in how things are. Let's try again. Matt has been working on a number of things this week, and one of them, combat reability, and that's where he's been fixing bugs relating to sounds and projectile trails with client predicted projectiles and how they get rationalized with the server version. Now, what does that mean? It means, of course, that as always, our server is authoritative, meaning you can't cheat. But what we also need to do to make sure that the weapon trails, projectiles, all look good is that we can let the client go ahead, project out where the thing is going to land, play the effect, check with the server. If the server says that, hey, somebody's hacked something, then we take action. But that's how you can get things to look really sharp. So we're moving ahead with that. He's been fixing a number of other bugs, whether it's on the world editor, as well as some things with building mode. Number 6, another work in progress, item functionality. So this has to do with containers and adding scripting support for items as well. It doesn't sound so sexy, but on the other hand, then when you think about being able to click on objects and being able to interact with them. Same with player deaths and scenario types, all that. So, things move forward. And plot permissions as well. Number 7, another work in progress, scenario 2 item ECTs. Now, what does that mean? That means we're getting ready to build the second scenario for Beta 1. Number 8, VFX concepting. So one of the things that we're going to be doing before Beta 1 is, if you've been in our current testing, you've seen some some quick VFX that Mike made, some other ones that weren't as quick, but none of them were meant to be final. So Michelle's going to work on concepting out some additional VFX so that the ice, for example, looks like ice, arrows look more like arrows, that sort of thing. Number 9, SFX and VFX. So Mike and DB continue their work on hooking both music and VFX back up to abilities after our latest update. So again, moving forward for Beta 1. Number 10, a work in progress on the Place of Power scenario number 2. So for this, Dion has created several new ground vine assets. Tyler has created 4 new terrain materials and has been working on assembling the current, terrain mod. Hang on, Max is asking me to stop.
Move the mic a little bit closer. See if that helps a bit.
You guys said I sounded fine.
Yeah,
Gosh.
they did, and now they're complaining.
Oh, God, never
Who'd have
satisfied.
thunk it?
Yeah. Okay, number 12, Meyer Art Tools. So when Joe came on board, we've talked about this before. One of the things that we've been doing is kind of refactoring how the animators work with the current tools, with the current system, and this is another step down the path of making it as easy as possible for the animation team to create animations and get them into the game. Number 13 is also another animation item, and that Scott and Sandra have been working on wrapping up some low-hanging fruit, because you got to have fruit to throw at developers when they don't do things intelligently. So they're getting as much of that done as possible. In the spare time, she's also been working on the existing polearm attack and making some other changes to other older animations. Number 14, and the last item on the list, Characters 2.0. So John completed an update pass on the Arthurian heavy armor this week, and he updated the mesh and the materials. We had John live streamed on that. We'll be linking to that in today's update. Today's update is a user story update, and so expect, a lot of things in that as well. I think it is, right?
I don't have
Maybe
any
not.
idea. We have to ask Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
Is it a user story update today? No. Never mind. I thought it was. Sorry. No user story update today. So, yeah, hey. Well, but shouldn't it be? Because it would be the last Friday in the month. Oh, well.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, because next Friday is March.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it should have been a user story update today.
Or last week.
Was it last week? I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, because we went to every off week that we didn't have a newsletter.
Right.
Right? Newsletters next
Right.
week.
Oh, yeah, I guess it... No.
So it should have been either this week or the previous week.
Right.
Yeah, one of those two.
Nice. Okay, hey, confusion reigns supreme. So, yeah. That's it. Let's go to the Q&A, and then I want to get back to testing and today's update, so may keep it somewhat short.
A lot of means like, debate this after the stream.
Yeah. See, this way we do it live and unscripted.
Yeah,
it's so much more fun.
Oh, and we do have some gifts to open.
Oh, yes, we do.
So we'll leave some time for that.
Yep.
Brand asks, if there is a weekend test, will it follow the same format of the impromptu tests or have new parameters or a larger scope?
No, if we can have one on this weekend, it'll be just another break the build test. Because frankly, because we've been running these during the week, we've been using NPCs to fill in the ranks. What we're hoping to have on the weekend is all you folks come in, and we don't need any NPCs. But that's other than that, it'll be the same test we're running during the week. It'll just allow a lot more people to have access to it.
Odilvik passes on a question from Ajadi. Ajadi asks, awesome to have the Beta 1 date and all, but let's go to the really important topic, TSL fan stuff, when?
Beta 1.
And can we have TSL fan stuff loot boxes?
We should do that as an add-on for Cube.
Sakrix asks, is the specific Ulfhednar Rage Race mechanic still planned, and will Arth and TDD get their own unique race mechanics?
Certainly, it's what I'd like to see for the Ulfies. It's one of the reasons to have, frankly, that race versus having it as a class like in, other games.
Iron Nightingale asks, now that the racial backgrounds are here and beautiful, when will we hear more about the two missing Viking races?
Yeah, we need to get to those guys and gals, which we will do before beta.
I'm trying to figure out what this question says. Okay, got it. Waux 1980 asks, can we have anti-air abilities to shoot down MJs and dragons? Oh, and can we get frog costumes with ribbit sounds as beta rewards? Courtesy of Brian for that idea.
We'll probably put something like that just for fun. But not the frog, the shooting down MJs. But yeah, eventually, when we have the time, putting in some, just some more fun, silly stuff, to have fun, silly stuff is certainly something we'd like to do.
Kaladex asks, you said the body part system was one of the more likely systems to get cut. Do you have a more solid decision on this now, and did the investment affect the status of this?
No and no. Like any system, I like to say almost any system, we do want to actually play test it first with a bunch of variants to see if it really was a good or bad decision. So it's way too early to do that. In terms of the investment affecting this decision, not at all. We were going to cut, if we're going to cut stuff, we would have cut it whether we have additional money or didn't have additional money. Frankly, you could argue that you would want to be even more careful about cutting stuff to make your launch better, because if you don't have a lot of backing, again, just like in the Dark Age days, you don't have that much margin of error.
Iron Nightingale asks, can you speak more about the roadmap to Beta 1 that was mentioned to take the place of or supplement the existing user stories page?
I could, but it would take a long time to talk about. We'd rather save that, frankly, for putting up the new roadmap. So that's going to cover everything. I mean, look, just as we talked about now multiple times, we spent a lot of time over the last now 7 weeks. 5 weeks, to be fair to Ash. He didn't start until the middle of January. Going over all the tasks that we need to have done for Beta 1. And so that certainly has been a good exercise. It was necessary, and it's going to give you guys even more insight into what we're doing over the next now 4 months.
Odovic passes on a question from Cyrus. Cyrus asks, I have seen references to the Builders Brigade, but after hours of searching the forums, I can find no details on it. Will this be a player-based team, and if so, who will it consist of, and how does one apply to be considered?
Yes, it's going to be all player. It's going to be led by us, with one player being, probably one player being in charge of the Builders Brigade. It will be similar to the Mod Squad in that there'll be rewards for doing things. In terms of applying, it'll be really easy. Just link us to things you've made. So that will be easiest done on the forums. Because we certainly want to give our folks the first chance at this. And yeah, it'll be, again, similar to the Mod Squad. You do stuff, you build stuff, we use stuff, you get rewards for stuff. So it's really as simple as that.
Sacrix asks, is the game going to be optimized and launch in full screen for Beta 1?
Good question. I actually don't know the answer to that. I haven't actually had a chance to discuss it with Andrew. So, really good question. Ask it on the forums to remind me, and I'll ask Andrew.
Odovic says, Handlepants asks, will there be a hide helmet, hide shoulders, or hide cloak option so we can remove the visuals of certain pieces of gear and see our character's face or head?
Yeah, only if you go seek, too. Sorry. Yes, something like that would be certainly doable. Come on, I thought it was funny. But I always do.
TJ Crunk asks, if there is a weekend test, will we be able to craft abilities?
No. Oh, definitely not. There's a great and wonderful thing about our ability system. You can craft your own abilities. There's a great and terrible thing about our ability system. You can craft your own abilities. And as we want to actually focus these tests on getting an absolutely fully playable, scenario up and running as quickly as possible, then getting this group of abilities right, that's the first step. Once that's done, yes, we will probably then reopen it, whether it will be a full reopening of it, or we'll add more abilities, or have a subset of the current components that we'll discuss. But we got to get these ones working. And look, a perfect example is what happened during this week's testing. One of the traits ended up being the cause of one of the issues we were having with the servers, well, the mini servers. And so that exposed a problem in the game, which we're now tracking down. And I think we have a fix. Hopefully we have a fix going in shortly. We've had a Band-Aid in there for the last 24 hours, but I think we'll have a real fix going in sometime today.
Rocket Mist asks, when is MJ's vacation?
Well, I was hoping it was going to start next Friday, and now it may not. Nothing to do with actually here. We were going to, Lady J and I were going to head out next week, and then our son, said, hey, my plans fell through, so why don't we all go together? And then I was all set to book it yesterday, and Janet came in and said, talk to your son. He just told me that he's not sure that he wants to go away. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. So yeah, I don't know, maybe next week. If not next week, certainly within the next 2 weeks. I am absolutely out of here at some point during March. God, do I need it. But, I was trying to work it out so the entire family could go. Because that's always so much more interesting when we're all together. So.
I I just want to mention that some people are saying that they miss the question, when is the beta date?
Yeah, isn't that
They
great?
miss asking.
Yeah. So we got to eliminate even more of those, right? The ones that are like but then as soon as we do that, we'll open the floodgates to, hey, how about /stick, /follow? Hey, what about resin?
To be clear, we have answers on those, and we've answered them many times. So if I'm skipping those questions, that's why. Odilvik passes on a question from Darlgon. Do you have plans to lock the current forum threads and start them with more current information with the start of Beta 1? I keep seeing threads for 2015 or 16 being revived with speculation older than the game.
Yeah, I think certainly when we go into beta, we should either lock the threads or do what we did with the old forum threads and put them in a special place and start again. That's something Brian and I will be discussing as we get closer to Beta 1.
Sakurix asks, how is hiring going? Any new people?
Lots of interviews. So many interviews. No new people yet. We want to make an offer to one candidate. It's a long shot. I don't think it'll work, but hey, you never know. But no, lots of candidates. I mean, I can easily say dozens. So, yay, need more. We're picky.
Muerta Grease on the YouTube chat asks, bomb squad groups were a problem in Warhammer Online. Are you thinking to do something against that and the AoE?
That is always an issue. I mean, look, and it doesn't matter whether you look at folks using any of the abilities of the game, whether it is, I don't know, stealth gank groups, as I've mentioned before. Anything can be abused by a group if they play very well together, and it's one of those ongoing things that you can't really eliminate unless you eliminate any ability that could possibly be, I don't want to say misused because it's being used the way it was supposed to be used, nor abused. That's one of those ongoing things. On the other hand, things like obviously buff bots or casting behind walls, that sort of stuff, that's going to be our focus. Other things certainly we care about, and we're going to try to design them right from the beginning that players don't outthink us. But look, the history of MMOs and games in general is that the players outthink the devs more times than not.
Sakrix asks, what is happening with the air system? Will it be as in-depth in Beta 1, and will we see floaty runes?
No, for the first part, certainly for the beginning of Beta 1. And floaty runes, I certainly hope so. Look, the bottom line with air is that it's an important, it still is an important part of the game. I think it's cool. I think it's useful. I think it has more to it than just the simple, oh, isn't it cool? So, yeah, it's going to stick.
Udalvik passes along a question from Friendly Fire. Friendly Fire asks, as we approach June 12th, how will you keep backers up to date on progress? Can we track the progress? What happens if Beta 1 isn't ready by June 12th?
Well, Beta 1 won't be ready by June 12th. That's when we go into the hardening of Beta 1, of the build for Beta 1. Beta 1 starts on July 4th, so let's be clear about that. If it's not ready, it's not ready. I mean, it's not like, the world ends if it's not ready. We certainly want it to be ready for July 4th. We certainly want it to be ready in June so we can spend 3 weeks beating on it more. But it isn't like, oh my God, the studio's out of business. We certainly wouldn't have run through all the money that quickly, as the last, 4+ years have shown. We are, look, we're going to do everything we can to have this game in beta by the 4th of July. that's what we want to do. But if we're not, we're not. I mean, there's no other choice. You either make it or you don't. And if you don't make it, the world does not come to an end. My guess is you guys will know well before where we're at. You don't want to say 100%, because there's always that last minute thing that bites you in the ass when you say something 100%. I am really confident that you guys are going to know way before whether we're going to hit July 4th. I don't want to wait to the last minute to make that announcement. I know certainly it's something that studios, including CSC, have done in the past. I don't like doing that. So I think you folks, frankly, you're going to see the tests. You're going to be in the tests. What you've seen this week is not going to change in the sense that we're not all of a sudden going to go Willy Wonka. So, while we can communicate with you, as we will through updates, as well, such as this, of course, through emails, through forum posts, through the occasional smoke signal coming, off of our balcony, you guys are going to know that, where we're at. And if you join us in the test, you're going to know where we're at. Folks who joined us today for the first time, or for the first time in a long time, they're letting us know what they think. And thankfully, the vast majority of them are telling us how great everything is, how much it's changed, how playable it is. People calling in all over Europe going, this is fantastic. Where the server's based, and we tell them here in Virginia, or somewhere on the East Coast. I think Virginia. I think this batch is in Virginia. So yeah, you guys are gonna have plenty of warning. We're certainly, again, I can guarantee you, we're not going all Willy Wonka, and what will stop communicating. That's just not us.
Brando2 asks, for us lore-interested folks, will there be more lore written up for the Dragon Circles prior to Beta 1 to fit within the world and timeline of the game?
Yeah, I have to get to that. I started that. I need to finish that. I need my brain to start to shift back to design and writing guy, away from business guy. I was able to do both, but I wasn't doing the writing and designing part as well. Just time. So now, as I happily shift off being the guy who's doing all the spreadsheets and all the presentations, the PowerPoints, laying those out, and putting poor Mr. Koo through variant after variant. I think that I will be able to get well back into writing in creative mode. It's the mode I like the best. It's what I'm very good at. And so expect more stuff. And frankly, I know it's coming because over the last week or two I've been thinking about 2 new graphic novels that I may get started on. So, yeah.
Odovic passes along a question from Poxer. Poxer ponders, at launch, will some race and class combinations have unique base vision advantages, such as night sight, detect hidden, or extended view range?
Oh, absolutely. Guaranteed. Okay, let's do a 5-minute warning.
All right.
So 5 minutes, folks. We got some packages to open and some other things to say. And I really want to get back to testing and see if we have any chance of a weekend test.
5-minute warning, folks. Let's see. Odovic passes along a question from Ajadi. Ajadi asks, how can we envision the role of a heavy fighter? Will they support protective gameplay, like a tank, or more of an offensive gameplay to charge head-on into hordes of enemies? How does he support both, and how is it up to us how we want to build our heavy?
Well, building your heavy is really totally up to you guys. You know, you've seen the class, some of the classes we've talked about already. You know how we've talked about armor. You know how we've talked about ability crafting. So it will be no different than other games in the sense of, you know, you can pick the way you want to build out your character to support that kind of gameplay. And so if you want a heavy that can be more the, charge into things, versus the heavy that's just going to stand around a lot, or not have to run at full speed for a long period of time, you know, that's going to dictate what kind of armor you're going to choose. It could also dictate what kind of weapon you're going to choose. You know, are you going short, you know, sword and board, or are you just going sword? That sort of stuff. So no, we want you guys to be making that decision.
Let's see. Sacrix asks, why will people use a scout in a group?
Really? Gosh, a whole bunch of reasons. So I guess it depends, doesn't it, Sacrix, like what your group wants to do, which is the easiest thing. You know, look, if your group is just going out and, you know, roaming, looking, you know, to pick off the weak ones, versus, hey, you're looking for, you know, other groups, big groups to fight, or if you're looking to go out and, you know, lay siege to castles, or not even castles, smaller, you know, structures, you know, having a scout in those situations, you know, can be useful, or in some cases useless. So it's, once again, just like the question of what are we going to do with the heavies, it's up to you. I mean, what are you going to be doing in the group? And, you know, if somebody who can move at quicker speeds ahead of you, who can move undetected, who can move, you know, in and outside of structures more easily, is somebody who's going to be useful, well, you're going to want to have them. On the other hand, if you're just going out again and looking for trouble with nothing specific in mind, then maybe having a scout won't be all that important.
And maybe here's a nice one to end with. Real Life Gabo asks, are there any features you are excited to see?
Yeah, all of them at this point. The most excited, the one that I'm most excited about really short term is just the, you know, hopefully 200 by 200 by 200 with a high frame rate running around a scenario. Because as you folks remember who've been with us since the beginning of the process, we've said that our goal was about 800 people at a decent frame rate. So if, you know, maybe later next month, depending on where we're at, if not before, you know, not much after then, I would expect to see that and go, wow, you know, when we set out to do this back in 13, and we said, hey, we can do, you know, 800 people, 30 frames a second, that sort of thing. And we know we can do that already, but to actually show you all where you're jumping in scenarios with those many people, and not NPCs, but people, that would get me very excited and obviously very happy. So, having said that, let's go to the packages. First off, must say thank you to our rich, creepy uncle. He thought I didn't remember. Okay,
I did.
You could see he was starting to wait. Jeez, man.
Mark's on top of it.
Yeah, so thanks to Rich Creepy Uncle, which is a name this backer wanted us to use. We had pizza in the studio today, East and West. So thank you, Rich Creepy Uncle, for the pizza. Okay, having said that, let's go on to the packages.
Let's see. I actually have no idea who sent anything that we're opening today.
Oh, good.
So this is
Well,
you.
there's a name here. See?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Okay. And he's telling me about, hey, make sure you say what you need to say. He's like, I don't know who's saying it. Maybe look at the label.
All right.
But I don't know who the person is other than the first name. So thank you, person who only has a first name, for the Harry and David, which I am sure is going to be really nice, because Harry and David make some really good stuff. That did not work.
The man with no screen name says, "Rich, creepy uncle sounds like the kind of guy CSE needs as a backer."
Yeah, seriously. Ah. That was even easier. Oh, pears. Lots and lots of pears.
Awesome.
Okay, so hey, Tyler, make sure people take some of these.
Pear gatherer.
Yeah, make sure people take these home. We don't want them. When did this come in?
Yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
They smell amazing.
they smell fantastic. Pears. So thank you. You didn't say whether we can use your name, so send us a note and we'll say
Message me
your
or
name.
Brian on Discord.
But thank you. I love pears. I wish I could eat them right now. Okay. This one is no surprise because it says it right here. Fresh, delicious popcorn. So we have 4 boxes, including 2 really big boxes and 2 small boxes of fresh, delicious, gourmet popcorn. Do we have a name?
No, we don't. I don't have any idea for either of these.
Okay, so these are surprise, as well gifts. Let's open up the big box because that's much more interesting.
All right.
It's always better to open a big box. This is why you open the big box
Wow.
first. So, thank you for the...
Oh my gosh, it's full.
full of delicious, fresh, delicious gourmet popcorn.
Oh, it's from Bailey McBoat.
Oh,
Says there's
hey.
a note in one of the packages.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Failboat. Thank you very much for the fresh, delicious gourmet popcorn.
Wow, that is things a drum.
That is we got 2 drums and 2 drumettes, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's open the drumette. Oh, and I got how do you like that? On the
Lucky
second
draw,
one,
man.
I got the card. So I will read that. The Crispy Alliance salutes your beards.
The Crispy Alliance?
That's what it says. Oh, and that beta thingy. What was that about again? Thank you. And thank you for the, beard love. And this. Let's see, which kind?
Raspberry popcorn.
That's what, doesn't it look like that?
That's what it looks like.
All right, got to open up because it's in a different color. Tin, so let's see.
Failboat says JB will understand. Oh, okay. JB clarifies crispy as in Rice Krispies.
Yep.
It was an inside joke from the CU summer camp.
Got it. Well, this is chocolate covered caramel. It looks popcorn. So yeah, hey, thanks for the calories. So one person sends us more healthy fruit,
Right, pears.
and the other sends us even more delicious, unhealthy popcorn
The other one's
covered in chocolate and caramel.
Pears, oranges, and apples.
Ah,
Different
nice,
delicious fruits.
nice.
We've got it all.
All right, so as always, folks, first, thank you so much, unknown person, or I know your first name, but I won't mention it, for the gifts from Harry and David. Failboat, thank you for the, come on, say it all together, folks, fresh, delicious, gourmet popcorn. We, as always, appreciate it, even if some of our waistlines don't. In my case, since I can't eat it, send it. They love it.
Vatican says it's going to send us gym memberships.
There we go. I need to get back to the gym, and I am going to do that as soon as I get back from vacation, which hopefully will be sometime, the upcoming month.
And also thanks to Rich Creepy Uncle. Again.
And Rich Creepy Uncle again for more thinning and delicious pizza, and for the salad. As always, this is the stuff, as well as the little notes we get, and not the notes that finish the damn game already. But no, this is the sort of stuff that we like so much. It's one of the things that separates our backers, I think, from any other backers we've seen for the other, Kickstarters. We've always treated you and will continue to treat you with respect, and the vast majority of you reward us with patience, with your support, continued support after these years, and the occasional lovely, fresh, delicious gourmet popcorn, as well as the fruit. And it means a lot to us. We care. It really does. It's one of the things that, frankly, as we've gone through some dark times, has kept me going, because I see just how fantastic the vast majority of you are. We have begun to reward that. You've seen that. For those of you who've been in our tests, you've seen how far the game has come. And it's a game. It is now feeling like a game. And as you saw from today's update, and you'll see from next week's update, and the updates from now until July 4th, how much more like a game it's going to be, but how much more of a game it's going to be becoming. Haha, I got the becoming in. Thank you. We should do that. There was that old contest, like, can you work words into, speech? Some movie or show. I'm trying to remember that.
One.
Yeah, I'll remember it.
Never heard of that.
Yeah. It was a movie, and there was a challenge between, I think, writers or political consultants. Oh, how is he going to work the word in? I think maybe Robin Williams was in it. Oh no, it was Steve Martin, and it was, oh God,
Whose line is it?
No, where he played. No, it was a movie where he played the pastor, the scamming pastor, who went from town to town. Underrated movie, very great movie. But yeah, that's where I'm getting it from. So anyway, nice digression. But that's what's going to happen over the next 4 months.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?
Nope. That's the one where he plays the con artist.
Leap of Faith.
Leap of Faith. Yep. Great movie. Love Leap of Faith. A lot of fun. But we're going to be doing this every week. We're going to be making the game feel more like a game. And if we can get lucky and, bring in a couple more people, or more than a couple, but a lot more people to help us, we hope to, not necessarily bring in the beta earlier, because that would be, well, that might be a miracle. Bring people in, and at the same time also bringing, in the beta earlier. But it certainly would help bring in the live game earlier. So, that's what you're going to be seeing. And you're going to be seeing more and more testing from us. and it's going to be fun. And it's so good to be able to say that again. So, as always, I want to thank you on behalf of CSE for your support, for your patience, and at times as well for your sense, not only for your gifts, but for your sense of humor. We appreciate all of it, and we wish you a safe and happy weekend. And know within an hour-ish about whether we'll have a weekend test. I'm going to now sign off and talk to Tim about it and see where we are at. So once again, folks, thank you, and hopefully I will see you, though maybe not next week if I actually go away next week, but no matter what, I'll see you soon. So thanks.
Keep an eye out for updates. See you later.